Well, Chris Masters, thanks for speaking with Central Coast Newspapers. A very interesting interview coming up on Wednesday night, yourself interviewing Andrew Quilty about Afghanistan. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, I mean, it'll be interesting for me too. I've had some dealings with Andrew, but we've never actually met. I mean, in some respects, we were on different sides of the tent. I mean, he lived in Afghanistan for up to 10 years. I went there on a range of occasions, but I went with the ADF, so I was within that perimeter, and he was out there with the teeming mobs, and it was always an issue for journalists, which side of the tent you were on. So it'll be interesting to merge our views.
Well, your book that about No Front Line, that was widely talked about and so on, and as you said, it's a view about Afghanistan from the ADF's point of view. What do you think will be different with Andrew's analysis?
Well, it was a big problem for me, and I always say that journalism is essentially about good judgment. But you could say that if you were operating from inside the tent, you were being controlled by the ADF, and your view was going to be limited. To some degree, that is correct, and certainly there were times when I had to find a way to get the other story. But I think both perspectives are very valuable, and from both points of view, you've got to apply classic journalism, skepticism, and judgment. But I remember when I was there thinking that Afghanistan is such a complex story to begin with that there are thousands of ways to see it, and I think all these years on, post the final triumph of the Taliban, it's still actually very poorly understood.
It's famous throughout the centuries for being near on impossible to invade and occupy. It would seem all the great powers have given it a try. What was your view on that as far as the Great Withdrawal was concerned that Andrew will go into?
Yes, well, it was an unwinnable war, as it turned out. But again, what was the objective? Initially, it was to stabilise the place. From what I could see, there was a good motive for the West to intervene. The Taliban was on the nose. The people of Afghanistan wanted change, but once the West came, what was essentially a peacekeeping exercise turned into a war. And over time, clearly an unwinnable war.
Have you thought about the particular questions that you're going to put to Andrew on Wednesday night at the Gosford Regional Gallery?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm very interested in his book, but I suppose I'm more interested in some of the questions we've just been raising now. Why does violence blight this place, and it's blighted it forever? I mean, it's a landlocked country. It never seeks to invade anybody else. The problems always seem to come from outside. And you wonder, in a situation like this, if the people are oppressed, why don't they rise up and vanquish their oppressors? I think there are some very good questions to put to Andrew, and I'll appreciate his insights from that other side of the tent.
Well, look, we'll look forward to it. Just to remind people, it's on Wednesday night at the Gosford Regional Gallery. Tickets are $30, and it goes for an hour, I understand, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And I'm sure you'll pick up a great précis of August in Kabul, Andrew's book, and a little of yours as well, Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for speaking with us.
No problems.